Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News. Fans, the sun hung low over the California coastline, painting the sky in a spectrum of golds and pinks, as Mel Owens drove along the winding roads toward the set of The Golden Bachelor. The stakes were higher than ever. Tonight, he would make a revelation that fans across the nation would be talking about for weeks: his hometown date choices. Inside, the mansion buzzed with anticipation. Contestants had been warned to prepare for emotional highs, potential heartbreaks, and, as always, a few shocking twists. Mel, the charismatic and introspective bachelor, had navigated this season with a mix of charm, wit, and vulnerability that drew in not only the women vying for his heart, but viewers glued to their screens. Yet this evening, Mel felt a knot of uncertainty tighten in his chest. Sitting in his private quarters, staring at a stack of envelopes containing the names of the lucky women who would accompany him to his hometown, he whispered to himself, "I have reservations, but why do I feel like this could change everything?" It started innocently enough. Mel's producers had informed him that he needed to select the women for his hometown dates, a critical moment in any season of The Golden Bachelor. Typically, this was a celebratory time, a chance for the bachelor to explore deeper connections, introduce potential fiancés to his family, and, inevitably, experience tension, tears, and drama. But Mel felt differently. He had connected with several women deeply, but two names lingered in his mind with hesitation. He couldn't quite shake the thought that selecting them might lead to misunderstandings, or worse, heartbreak. He rubbed his temples, recalling the conversations and shared moments with each woman. Cindy, the free-spirited artist with a contagious laugh. Their chemistry had been immediate, but Mel worried her impulsiveness could clash with his structured life back home. Sophia, the ambitious entrepreneur who shared his love for philanthropy. Their conversations always left him feeling inspired, yet her career ambitions could pull her in directions far from his hometown. Carol, the classic romantic, who melted his defenses with heartfelt letters and subtle gestures of affection. She seemed perfect, yet something about her guarded demeanor made him second-guess the depth of their connection. And then there was Vanessa, the wild card of the season. Bold, witty, and fiercely independent, Vanessa had managed to intrigue Mel in ways he hadn't anticipated. But her unpredictable nature gave him pause. Mel sighed. How could he choose when every option carried potential joy and risk? The cameras rolled as Mel entered the confessional room. His face reflected both excitement and hesitation. "I know that hometown dates are supposed to be moments of clarity," he began, glancing into the camera, "but for me, it's complicated. I feel deeply connected to all of these women in different ways. But choosing, it's scary. I have reservations. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it means I care enough to be thoughtful about who I bring home." The producers exchanged glances. This was gold, the kind of honesty and vulnerability that made reality TV addictive. They leaned in closer, whispering cues, but Mel continued, "I think the hardest part is imagining my family meeting someone who might not truly fit into my life. I want them to feel welcome, but I also don't want to make a decision I might regret." Fans watching from home immediately began speculating. Who was on Mel's list? Who would feel the sting of disappointment? Social media erupted, trending hashtags multiplying by the minute. Hashtag Golden Bachelor Shock. Hashtag Mel Hometown Drama. Hashtag Reservations Revealed. The next evening, the contestants gathered in the elegantly lit mansion lounge. Candles flickered, the soft hum of a string quartet filled the room, and tension crackled in the air like static electricity. Mel entered, envelope in hand. He looked around the room, meeting the eyes of each woman, feeling the weight of the moment. "Ladies," he began, his voice steady but tinged with emotion, "it's time to reveal who will join me on my hometown dates." He paused, letting the silence settle. Cameras zoomed in on the anxious faces of the women.
I want to be honest with you all, he continued. I have reservations about my choices tonight. It's not because I don't care, I care deeply, but because I know that bringing someone home is more than just a date. It's a glimpse into my life, my family, my world. And I want to make sure it's right. The envelope trembled slightly in his hand. He took a deep breath. The women joining me for hometown dates are Cindy, Carol, and Vanessa. Gasps echoed through the room. Cindy's eyes sparkled with surprise. Carol smiled softly, masking her racing heartbeat. And Vanessa, ever the bold one, let a sly grin play on her lips, clearly thrilled by the unexpected opportunity. Sophia, however, looked stunned. Mel noticed the flicker of disappointment in her eyes. He knew she was genuinely hurt, and guilt twisted in his chest. The aftermath was immediate. Cameras captured candid moments in the mansion as contestants processed the revelation. Some embraced the decision, others retreated quietly to reflect. Sophia's confessional was particularly heart-wrenching. "I thought I had a real connection with Mel," she whispered, voice breaking. I don't know what went wrong. I guess some things aren't meant to be, even when your heart says otherwise." Meanwhile, Cindy, Carol, and Vanessa were buzzing with anticipation. Cindy expressed her excitement with infectious energy. "I just can't wait. This is going to be unforgettable." Carol, more composed, added, "It's a big step and I'm honored, but I hope I can show Mel who I really am in his world, not just here in the mansion." Vanessa's response was simple but loaded with intrigue. "Let's see what surprises his hometown has in store for us. I'm ready for anything." Fans online couldn't contain themselves. The social media frenzy intensified as speculation grew about how each woman would fare during their hometown dates. Memes, reaction videos, and live commentary flooded platforms. The hashtag #MelHometownShock became one of the season's most viral moments. Media outlets picked up the story. Headlines screamed, "Golden Bachelor Shock! Mel's hometown list leaves fans reeling." Cindy, Carol, Vanessa, but what about Sophia? Mel Owens' Reservations reveal unexpected drama ahead. It seemed the world was watching not just for romance, but for the inevitable twists and turns of human emotion, ambition, and connection. The first hometown date took place in Cindy's artistic studio. Mel was immediately immersed in her world of color, creativity, and spontaneity. Paint splatters, laughter, and shared stories of childhood dreams filled the space, revealing layers of Cindy that had remained hidden in the mansion's more polished environment. Carol's date was next at a quaint family-owned cafe where Mel's mother worked part-time. The atmosphere was intimate, filled with meaningful conversation and gentle moments that tugged at the heartstrings. Carol's poise and sincerity shone, validating Mel's choice, but still leaving a lingering question: could their connection withstand the pressures of reality beyond the date? Vanessa's hometown revealed her independent streak and playful audacity. From ziplining through the local park to surprising Mel with a flash mob of friends singing his favorite song, the date was unforgettable, chaotic, and undeniably exhilarating. Mel found himself laughing more freely than he had all season, feeling the magnetic pull of her unpredictability. As the dates concluded, Mel retreated to his hotel room alone with his thoughts. The exhilaration of connection clashed with the gnawing feeling of doubt. Could he genuinely see a future with all three women? Was his heart leading him or merely reacting to the excitement of the moment? In his confessional, he admitted, "I've never felt this torn. Each woman brings something unique into my life. Cindy with her joy and light, Carol with her depth and warmth, Vanessa with her passion and fire. But choosing a future isn't just about the moments of happiness, it's about the moments of challenge, and I know that's what lies ahead." Back in the mansion, the women sensed the tension. Cindy confided to Carol, "I can tell Mel is torn, but honestly, I think that's a good thing. It means he's thinking about all of us deeply." Vanessa, ever strategic, added, "Maybe he's feeling pressure, but I trust that he'll figure it out. We just have to stay true to ourselves and let the chips fall where they may." Fans, meanwhile, were glued to their screens, dissecting every facial expression, every subtle gesture, every lingering touch. The internet exploded with theories. Who would Mel ultimately choose? Would his reservations prove wise, or would they lead to heartbreak? The story reached a pivotal moment during the group date recap. Mel's heartfelt honesty shocked both the contestants and viewers alike. I want you all to know that having reservations doesn't mean I don't care. It means I care enough to think about the future. And sometimes thinking about the future is harder than living in the moment. The camera lingered on each woman's reaction, hope, fear, excitement, and contemplation, all flickering across their faces. For the first time, the Golden Bachelor audience saw not just romance, but the complexity of human emotion played out in real time. As the episode closed, Mel stood alone on the balcony, the ocean waves crashing below. His mind raced, replaying each
Cindy's
date,
hometown
each
date
smile.
was more than just an introduction to her art. It was an immersion into her soul. As Mel stepped into her studio, the scent of paint and turpentine filled the air, mingling with the faint aroma of jasmine from her open windows. Canvases lined the walls, each one bursting with color, capturing moments of her life, her dreams, and her fears. "I wanted to show you my world," Cindy said, her voice soft yet confident. "Everything I create comes from feeling, and I want to share that feeling with you." Mel felt a wave of warmth. He picked up a brush and attempted to recreate one of Cindy's paintings. Laughing at his own lack of skill, he felt the tension of the season melt away. Cindy, sensing his vulnerability, gently guided his hand, their fingers brushing. "This is more than just a painting," Cindy whispered. "It's about trust, and maybe about letting someone see who you really are, even the messy parts." Mel nodded, struck by the depth of her insight. As they painted together, he realized that Cindy's spontaneity and free spirit weren't obstacles. They were invitations to see the world differently. For the first time, he felt a tinge of certainty. Cindy could teach him to embrace life more fully. Carol's date couldn't have been more different. A quiet morning at the local cafe with the soft hum of coffee machines and chatter felt intimate and grounded. Mel's parents were waiting, nerves visible on their faces. Carol extended her hand politely, but it was her eyes, warm, honest, and attentive, that truly spoke. The conversation flowed easily. Mel's mother, a perceptive woman with a love for family traditions, asked about Carol's childhood, her values, and her dreams. Carol spoke candidly, revealing moments of vulnerability and resilience. Mel's father, a man of few words but immense presence, nodded approvingly, subtly signaling that Carol's character had passed the ultimate test: authenticity. After the visit, Carol and Mel walked through a nearby park. Leaves crunched underfoot, and the golden sunlight bathed them in a gentle glow. Carol reached out, taking Mel's hand. "I know this isn't easy for you," she said softly, "and I know the reservations you feel are about more than just me, but I hope you see that I'm here, not just for the romance, but for the life we could share together." Mel's heart swelled. Carol's sincerity grounded him, offering clarity amidst the whirlwind of emotions the season had stirred. Yet a small flicker of doubt remained. Could love survive the pressures of reality beyond these moments? Vanessa's hometown date was pure adrenaline. From ziplining across the cliffs to a surprise beach bonfire organized by her friends, the date was chaotic, exciting, and utterly unforgettable. Vanessa's laughter echoed across the waves, infectious and uncontainable. Mel struggled to keep up, but with every daring leap and playful challenge, he felt more alive. Vanessa thrived in spontaneity, and for her, life was about embracing the unexpected. Sitting around the bonfire later, the two shared stories under the starlit sky. Vanessa's eyes sparkled with mischief and curiosity. "Mel," she said, her voice serious for a rare moment, "I don't want to just exist in your world, I want to experience it fully, challenges and all. But I need to know, are you ready for that kind of unpredictability?" Mel looked into her eyes, recognizing the intensity of her heart and spirit. Vanessa wasn't just a whirlwind. She was a mirror reflecting the adventurous side of himself he had long neglected. Choosing her would be a leap of faith, but the pull was undeniable. Back at the mansion, tensions ran high. Sophia, still reeling from not being selected, confided in a producer. "I thought I had a real chance," she admitted, voice trembling. "Mel and I connected, but now I just feel like I don't belong. Did I misread him, or did I just not fit the moment?" Producers, sensing drama gold, encouraged her to be honest in confessional, knowing that vulnerability would deepen viewer engagement. Sophia's tears, caught on camera, added emotional depth to the unfolding narrative. Meanwhile, other contestants whispered among themselves, speculating who Mel might ultimately choose. Alliances, rivalries, and subtle manipulations began to surface, revealing that love on television was never just about romance, it was about strategy, perception, and timing. Fans were relentless online. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and fan forums exploded with theories and hot takes. Cindy's spontaneity is a perfect match for Mel's charm. Carol's grounded personality might win him over long term. Vanessa is wild, but can he handle the unpredictability? Where does this leave Sophia? Should she have been on the list? Memes and reaction videos poured in, capturing facial expressions, whispered moments, and subtle glances. Every hesitation, every smile, every lingering touch was dissected frame by frame. The hashtag #MelHometownShock trended globally. Fans debated fiercely. Was Mel's hesitation a sign of uncertainty or proof of his thoughtfulness? Could love survive such conflicting emotions? Mel retreated for another confessional, camera rolling, as he sat alone, reflective. "I've spent so much of this season trying to figure out what I want. And it's not just about who makes me laugh or who makes my heart race. It's about alignment, values, dreams, compatibility. My reservations aren't fears. They're a recognition that love is complicated. And complicated isn't bad. Complicated is real." The confession added a layer of depth to Mel's character. Fans weren't just watching a reality show, they were witnessing a man wrestling with genuine emotions, trying to navigate the unpredictable terrain of the human heart. As the hometown dates concluded, Mel faced a pivotal moment. He sat in the balcony of his hotel, phone in hand, scrolling through messages from producers, contestants, and even fans. Cindy's last message: "Thank you for trusting me to see your world. I feel closer to you than ever." Carol's message: "I hope you saw the real me today. I'm ready for everything and anything." Vanessa's message: "Life is short. I hope you're ready to jump with me." Mel's heart pounded. Every message carried hope, anticipation, and the weight of potential heartbreak. His reservations felt heavier than ever, yet he knew that clarity often comes after moments of deep reflection. The final moments before decision day were electric. Contestants paced nervously. Mel stared at the ocean horizon, contemplating what he wanted, not just for the season, but for his life. Would he follow the pull of spontaneity with Cindy, the heartfelt depth with Carol, or the thrill of adventure with Vanessa? The answer remained uncertain, and that uncertainty was precisely what made The Golden Bachelor such addictive viewing. The episode ended with a cliffhanger, Mel standing alone, silhouetted against the setting sun, whispering, "I have reservations, but my heart knows
Before
it's
Cindy
time
stepped
to
into
decide."
Mel's hometown, cameras followed her back to her childhood home. The walls were covered with drawings, scribbles, and framed artwork, evidence of a young girl's imagination nurtured into adulthood. Her mother, a gentle woman with sparkling eyes, shared stories of Cindy's fearless creativity. Even as a child, she'd climb the tallest trees just to see the view. That curiosity, that drive, it's who she is. She doesn't follow rules, she makes them. Mel watched the segment in the hotel room, a lump forming in his throat. Cindy wasn't just playful and artistic, she had a foundation of resilience and courage that resonated deeply with him. Understanding her roots made her choices and spontaneity feel more intentional, more authentic. Next, cameras captured Carol introducing Mel to her younger brother, Lucas, who had always been protective of his sister. Lucas's initial skepticism softened as he witnessed Carol and Mel's connection. "Mel, she's my sister," Lucas said cautiously. "I want to know she's happy, and I want to make sure you're the guy for her." Carol squeezed Mel's hand. "He is," she whispered. Mel's heart swelled. This was a moment of grounding clarity. Carol's world, steeped in love, family, and loyalty, mirrored the values he held most dear. Yet, as much as he admired her stability, a part of him wondered if passion alone could be enough for a lifelong connection. Vanessa's hometown was a whirlwind. Her parents were theatrical, lively, and slightly unpredictable, perfectly reflecting her personality. From a boisterous family dinner with loud laughter to an impromptu karaoke contest in the living room, Vanessa's energy was infectious. Mel laughed until his sides ached, yet in quieter moments, he glimpsed the depth beneath the chaos. Vanessa's independence and boldness weren't just fun, they were a statement of self-assurance. Anyone who could handle her vibrant personality would earn a love full of adventure, spontaneity, and unpredictability. Back at the mansion, Sophia wasn't the only contestant feeling tension. Other women whispered, "Mel seems torn. Can he even choose?" Caitlin, a fellow contestant, voiced her frustration in confessional. "I get that he has to follow his heart, but sometimes it feels like he's dragging everyone along in this emotional roller coaster. How are we supposed to stay sane?" Meanwhile, Mel's reservations became a focal point of gossip. Some contestants speculated he was falling for Vanessa's thrill, while others believed Carol's emotional steadiness would ultimately win. Cindy's joyful spontaneity made her the dark horse. The mix of hope, envy, and speculation created an atmosphere where emotions could ignite at any moment. Fans became obsessed with predicting Mel's choice. Online polls, TikTok reaction compilations, Instagram live debates, and Twitter theory threads multiplied by the hour. Popular hashtags included hashtag Cindy Mel Connection, hashtag Carol for the win, hashtag Vanessa Wildcard, hashtag Golden Bachelor Shock, hashtag Mel Reservations. Memes showed Mel torn between three paths. Photoshop images placed him on a crossroads with each woman representing a different direction, and reaction videos captured fans screaming at their TVs. Producers noticed the surge in engagement and knew the finale would be one of the most watched episodes in Golden Bachelor history. As the hometown dates concluded, Mel sat alone for a final confessional before the decision. "This is the hardest decision of my life," he admitted, voice trembling. "I feel like every choice I make affects not just my heart, but theirs as well. Cindy, Carol, Vanessa, each of you has shown me love, laughter, and authenticity. I have reservations, but maybe reservations are part of love. Maybe love isn't about certainty, it's about courage." He paused, staring at the camera, eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I want to make the right choice, not the easy one, and that scares me more than anything." The mansion was tense with anticipation, contestants waiting, fidgeting, and pacing, while Mel took a solitary walk through the garden. He revisited every conversation, every laugh, every stolen glance. Cindy's carefree spirit called to him. Carol's depth grounded him. Vanessa's bold energy challenged him. He whispered into the night, "Who do I choose? Who will make my heart sing and withstand life's storms?" The cameras captured every heartbeat, every pause, and every sigh. The nation watched with bated breath. The episode ended with a dramatic twist, Mel holding 3 roses, each representing one of the women. He turned toward the camera, voice steady yet vulnerable. "I have reservations, I have doubts, but I also have hope. And tomorrow I will follow my heart." The screen faded to black, leaving fans screaming online, hashtag Golden Bachelor Final Decision, hashtag Who will Mel choose, hashtag Mel Reservations Revealed. It was the ultimate cliffhanger, the kind that had viewers counting down the hours until the finale aired, hearts racing, minds theorizing, and emotions running wild.